I think you can guess where I am. I've come down about 10 feet into this little dell that's called the Fairy Wood. I was just out on the land taking photographs to write a blog on the website, and just something drew me down here. I heard some noises. It sounded like someone brushing dust off a coat or something. It's quite strange. I just felt compelled to come down here. It's evening. I think it's about 7:30. Maybe it's getting more towards 8 o'clock. We're on the ascent to midsummer. The light is still rising. Jack is on a mission. I don't know what it is. I remember reading a comment, months and months ago now. Someone remarked that each time when I was making a video and I passed through the fairy wood, that I went very quiet, and I hadn't been aware of that. And it wasn't until I had a visitor, one of my visitors last week, and we came down through the fairy wood, and I just became aware that I had almost lost my voice. Not physically, but I just wasn't talking. This place has a strange effect on me, has a strange effect on most people. I don't know where Jack is now. It's lichens. They're a sign that the air is very clean down here. Of course, lichens grow all over Ireland. And moss. Lots and lots of moss. These are more lichens. Something's freaked him out. And then there are more lichens. Look at these. These are just beginning to form. It looks as though someone's painted big spots on the trees. And you can just see the beginnings of these little plants. Look at my hands. I got the mower started and I was out mowing paths and tidying up. Just a little bit, not too much. I'm very conscious of all this life around here at this time of the year. And all these beautiful seeds. Look, they're just blowing around. Look at this. Aren't they gorgeous? There's more. And there's some caught here in the tree. And all up here. I never feel too comfortable walking through here. And it's not in a bad way. I just feel I'm being observed. You know, when you think someone's looking at you and you turn around and there's no one there. Or there's someone there, but they're pretending not to look. It's a bit like that. Just climbing up now. I can never quite work out the lay of the land down here. It's in quite a hollow, quite a dell. There's another little entrance just here. very misty this morning. And when I was walking around with my coffee, I noticed quite a few fungi, little mushrooms everywhere. All these are little baby ash trees coming up through the leaves. Look at that. Regeneration. So much regeneration. The ash tree has opened up here in the middle. Look at this. Lots and lots of ivy on it. And the trees are all tangled here. Like some of them, it's hard to tell whether they're trees or just massive ivy, like this. There's Jack. And the moss is so deep here, look. Right down. This has got to be the most regenerative spring and summer that I've ever witnessed here. And it means something. Of course it means something. There are no accidents in the universe. I think Mother Earth has woken up and she's very aware of the imbalance caused by man. And she's going all out to try to rebalance herself. There are more seedlings, more birds, more insects, more life than what I've ever witnessed. In fact, there are videos on this channel going back 5, 6 years, something like that. And if you go back over them and listen, not listen to me, but listen to the birds, I think you may agree that there's a more of a bird population here now, just by the sounds, you know? the beautiful bark on the birch and peel this off. Very complex canopy. I have 22 days left on my juice fast, and gosh, I really do feel very well. Though I am trying to take it easy, which is a very difficult thing for me to do, because I'm very active, you know, being the only person to keep things going. I am very active. I'd like to say a special hello to Haley. Haley, our wires got a little bit crossed. I did email you, and yeah, just to say hi. So you can see where I've been mowing just the middle stretch. I just call Jack. Jack! Jack! You've been a wee bit of a rascal, aren't you? So I'll just show you out here on the road, just the roadside. It's always been very important for me to keep the public side of the property, you know, along the road, attractive, because what I've found over the years is that people can make assumptions. You know, they would assume that because you're planting trees or because they see trees growing that you don't care. I know that sounds bizarre, but such is the twisted minds of humankind sometimes. You know, they're a little bit confused. People get a bit mixed up about stuff. So I do make a special effort to keep this, you know, the driveway and the gateway and along the front tidy. So I'll just show you what I do, which is very, very simple. So you can see there's nothing much to do here. Just cut this back once in a while. And then along the roadside, what I've done is I've put lots of little plants in, just set them back, not in a straight line either, just in a kind of a curve, a nice natural line. And then all I have to do is just mow this little bit, which isn't too much. The hardest part is pushing the lawnmower back up the driveway. No wonder I have firm arms. I have had a few comments, you know, oh, you've lost so much weight, but you know, you're not flabby. Well, if only I had the chance to be flabby. But I'm rarely sitting down, you know. I'm always on the go. So you can see here, I mean, there's a massive amount of weeds, but when you just stand back and take a look, so like you're driving along, you know, you're not keeping a close eye on stuff, you're just driving along and you get this impression of a little garden, which is very simple. And I've planted trees in here, of course, lots of ferns. Jack, come over here. So I've got to speak firmly to him now because I don't want him leaping out in front of a car. He's a bit of a rascal actually as well. Yeah. So I am training him. It's an ongoing process. He's very good now about walking at heel. So you can see, of course, all these beautiful ferns here. And so they're at the very back. And then behind that then I've allowed the hedge, the original little bit of kind of scrappy hedge to grow. And then I've planted lots and lots of willow like this. And sedge. And some little birch trees in there. Lysomachia punctata, that's the yellow loosestrife there. Lots of little, geranium and cotoneaster and little shrubs, little bits of things that I've grown from cuttings. Lots of lady's mantle in there and columbine and Cordateria fulvida and just so on and so forth. So you can see this sort of little, just stand back on the other side of the road there, that's better. You can get a better view. So you can imagine driving along in a car, you're just whizzing past and you think, oh, that's nice little garden. And then when you do hear the word, or the words goddess permaculture, you begin to get a little bit of an insight into what it's about. Which primarily, the first picture you'd have in your head would be a nice picture. Would be a picture of something that perhaps you'd like to do as well. So that's my thinking, that's I think the carrot always works better than the stick. In fact, the stick doesn't work at all, does it? Let's face it. That's such an obvious thing. The carrot works better than the stick. So you can see now. So it looks quite a pleasant place. Come on, Jack. Now I think I can keep this running for another few minutes. So I'll just go up some nice cornflowers. These are the perennial cornflowers that have come out. And these are the Shasta daisies, which will be opening up soon. Again, I don't weed along here. You can see where I dump little bits of grass cuttings and stuff in, as a mulch. That's a wee birch tree coming up there, and there's ribes, and this little tree, which has actually grown quite tall now. It's a little ornamental thing, Looks quite nice. Jack, come on. And don't know the name of these flowers here. Again, it's a perennial. And cotoneaster there, which is coming into flower, and the rowan tree, and more cotoneaster, and these are doing quite well. These are little, I think they're little sycamore trees actually. I plant trees in, straight from pots. They might only be, a foot high, and then I go about all my work and I forget what I've planted where, and then sometimes years later I'm walking along and I think, oh, that's gorgeous, there's a beautiful tree there. And then I remember the early days, the nurture, and then the plant. Beautiful smells along here. I mean, just beautiful. I will have to come down and trim back some of these trees. I have done a fair bit of trimming already. Now, for those of you who want a little bit of porn envy, or whatever it's called, this is fuchsia. Yes, it's about 10 feet high. It's a giant fuchsia. That's how it grows here. pond is quite low at the moment, but it's still holding the life. It'll be rising up again when we get lots of rain. Just seeing some willowherb coming up here in the bank. And of course my little baby trees and ferns. Lots and lots of ferns. There's another little pathway that might need to be cleared. So the mower seemed to be there was a little, oh, I don't even know the names of these things, but there was a little sort of a wire on it, you know, that when you pull back the little lever, the little handle to make it go, the wire seemed to be a little bit slack. So I tightened that up, and then I turned the mower on its side one way and turned it on its side another. I don't know why I did that, but then I tried to get it going and it seemed to go. Spluttered a bit, but yeah, it seems to be working okay. So I thought, now that I've got it going, I'm just going to keep mowing until I get all the main stuff done. So it's getting up towards half an hour now on this video. And just to say now that, oh, there's Sammy Bear. Sammy! Sammy! He didn't even turn around. Yeah, if you'd like to support Bealtaine by buying one of the books or a map, there's a link below this video. And don't forget to subscribe. Beautiful. There's all the oxeye daisies. Aren't they lovely?